Because Auckland's so multicultural and because everything's Pacific, it just gets lumped into one Pan-Pacific thing. So I had to work really hard to wear my Samoan hat, my Tongan jersey, or wave my Niuean flag. I had to make sure like there was even representation, because to not do that would be a disservice to my ancestors and the people who raised me. So I thought, yeah, I need to like learn all three cultures. It was really hard growing up because I didn't look the same as some of my cousins. Fair-skinned islander, and then people always thought I was Afakasi, but I'm not Afakasi. I had Samoan, Tongan, Niuean, but then I'm still white. So I was in this weird like in-between space. I'd say it was traumatic because you had to like, you're almost pressured into like each one, and then yeah, you kind of feel like you don't fit into one. And then having that stigma on me, being called plastic, and I guess growing up I kind of pushed it all to the side and I didn't want to be any of them. I really wanted to be white. I didn't have any care or value on my culture and my language. All those things kind of like contributed to this journey of trying to struggle to fit into a space. When I became like a teenager and I went into performing arts school as a young adult, I kind of realized, you know, it's really important to embrace your cultural identity. And the biggest challenge for me is celebrating the differences as well as the similarities of each island. In 2015, I was cast as the main actor in a show called My Name is Billy Tome by Vela Manusaute, and he took us up to Niue. There were about 5 of us.
In Niue, we look after our elders because it's part of our culture.
And that whole process or experience, I guess, could be described as baptism by fire, because my biggest fear was performing in front of a Niuean audience. I was so insecure in my identity and my language. I thought they were going to be real savage and real like, you know, I thought they were going to like crucify me. Yeah, I just embraced the experience and then I learned to grow through that. Then I had the spiritual connection when I went to a particular place in Niue called Fupiu, and it's an area where Christianity was introduced into Niue. When I went there, I felt so small and I felt so like nothing else in the world mattered, just that I was there in that particular time, surrounded by bush, and you could hear the ocean, you could feel the wind. It was all the elements of nature, and it kind of felt like my ancestors were telling me off and telling me, this is who you are, come back to who you are. That experience was what really grounded me, I guess. Niuean language is the fastest dying language in Pacific languages in New Zealand. Hearing those stats was the catalyst for me to go, okay, I need to do something about it. This is a dream come true, like something I've wanted to do for my community since I started doing performing arts. But I never quite had the courage to venture into this space and do it. But the project is all about honouring the people who came before us, in particular the past composers from our village in Niue, and it's about the intergenerational connectedness, connecting our kids to their culture through the arts, but also honouring those who came before us. When our parents and stuff were going through school, they were encouraged not to speak their language, and this mentality was forced upon them where they thought English was success. So in order to be successful in the world, you had to learn English. The effects of that oppression and of culture and language have made our young people forget their identities, and they don't know who they are. And so we're making up identities now, and we're going to all these different spaces to find out who we are. So I guess for me, it's just bringing it back home and just going, okay, let's learn from our elders while they're here, because they're not going to be here forever. We're trying to save as much of our taonga that we can while the old people are still alive.